Hi players, bonjour from Paris, my name is Safir and welcome to my channel EZBoardGames. Today, on my way of building the perfect collection of 100 games, no more no less, we're going to say goodbye to 4 titles and we're going to say hello to 4 new board games that are entering my collection. First of all, let me congratulate myself, I guess, because today is exactly 1 year since I've opened my channel, since I've uploaded my first video. So it's a little bit weird looking backwards and seeing that Catan was actually the first game that I uploaded, like how to play. Yeah, it's kind of funny looking backwards. But enough of that, let's talk about the first board game that is leaving my collection, and that is Wonderland's War. I guess I owe you an explanation, right? Because it seemed a little bit weird that a game that is area control, asymmetrical, super beautiful is leaving my collection, and to be honest with you guys, it just didn't click with me, okay? So there was a lot of buzz like around this game, and it took me really a lot of time to get a copy of this game. So the secondhand market is really, it's just not out there. So people either demanding like a huge price or they're just not selling it, which is okay. I guess that it shows that people really like this game. With me, it didn't click. I'm guessing that beyond, the beautiful production of the game and everything, it was kind of, I don't know, very like extremely repetitive for me. You know, you're just going around the table and the war itself, like every time you have like some sort of a combat, I don't know, something just really didn't click. I was very excited to have this game. First of all, at 2 players, but it's okay because most of area control games at 2 players are not so good. But I think that most of the time I'm playing 2 players, and this game was just, it did not hit the spot. On top of that, I guess that the theme itself is not one of my favorites, you know, so if you're like really Alice in Wonderland's fan or something like that, you might like this a little bit better than I did. But for me, Wonderland's War, I won't say it was like a disappointment because I didn't have like crazily high expectations from this game, but I was just happy to get it, and unfortunately it didn't work out, and I'm going to say goodbye to this game. The second game that is leaving my collection is Lords of Ragnarok by Awakened Realms, and I actually did a review for this game a few videos ago, so feel free to check that out, but there were just like so many things that didn't work out for me in this game. It's a game that I really wanted to like, first of all, because I think that Adam Kwapinski did an amazing job in Frostpunk, and also I really liked Awakened Realms, the Great Wall, so I thought to myself, wow, with this designer of games and this company, something good like has to happen, right? This is a strategical game, and the theme is supposed to be cool and everything. I have to say that I never played the Lords of Hellas, so I really had no idea like what to expect. I just know that I found it in relatively a good deal, and I thought to myself, I should definitely give it a try. But starting from the setup, and I'm not even talking about like the first setup, even later on, and mostly I think that it was like a lot of issues that I had with the production that at some point just affected for me the experience of the game itself. I don't know, long downtime. Anyways, you can check out the review that I did if it's interesting for you, but Lords of Ragnarok is the second game that is leaving my collection. The third game that is leaving my collection, and actually while I'm doing this video I'm getting, wow, we're going to have here like really relatively like 3 big games that are leaving the collection. So the third one is Septima by Mind Clash Games. And this is actually the first Kickstarter that I actually pressed the button, so you know that I'm relatively still green in this world. But in any case, Septima is a game that I actually waited for it a long time. Seriously, I was excited for this game. I received it, and I cannot say like it's a bad game, okay? It's not like it completely disappointed me or something like that. I just felt that relatively to other games of Mind Clash or relatively to other games that I like, Septima is just not there. I mean, beautiful components, everything is cool. You have a very cool way to learn the game with the basic and then the full game and then the expansion. But something there felt relatively flat for me. Felt like there is, I don't know, even the actions themselves that you can do are like you're waiting for your turn, and then in your turn, it's not like you're doing something great. You know what I mean? It's something, I don't know. And it didn't click with me at all. I tried to do like quite a lot of games with it, with different player count, but at the end I told myself that I guess that Septima should find a home where it will be loved the way it should be. So Septima is the third game that is leaving my collection, and the fourth game that I actually don't have it physically here with me, but that is a game that is very dear to my heart, like in a sentimental kind of way, and that is Zpocalypse. Zpocalypse, I'm like, yeah. So this is probably the second game that I bought like ever, like from modern board games, and I remember like sitting down and trying to understand what's going on here. And obviously the rule books are not the best, and on YouTube you don't have a lot of like videos about this game. And I think that this is one of the first times that I'm thinking to myself, wow, after learning this game, I should spread the word. Not that I think that it has actually an audience out there, because really I think that I've never heard anyone speaking about this game. But for me, it was such a cool experience in the beginning because, you know, you have like a team, it's a cooperative game, you can go collect like weapons, find things, you have zombies, which I absolutely love, and I don't know, this game like has a really nice memory with me, you know, but I do feel that it's just taking a place for another game that is supposed to be in the perfect collection of 100 games, so I thought to myself, alright, I guess it's time to say goodbye to this game. Now let's move over to the games that are entering my collection. Don't worry about this game, we'll talk about it a little bit later. It's not part of the games that are entering my collection. But anyways, so the first game that is entering my collection is Fractal Beyond the Void, that is right over there. I'm a little bit lazy to take everything because Fractal actually is on my table right now. Just because I finished doing 2 videos like how to play and a playthrough, so feel free to check it out if it's interesting for you. But Fractal is kind of a cool game. I don't know if it's going to stay in my collection yet, but there is another video that I have to do with it that I'll talk about a little bit later before I'm taking my decision. The second game that has entered my collection is Witcher the Old World, which is something that at the time obviously didn't back in Kickstarter, and I'm kind of happy about that because I think that I found a better deal in the secondhand market. So I found the big box with all the expansions and the playmat, the coins, whatever, for 240 euros, which is, yeah, it's a lot, but I think that if I'm not mistaken, if I would have backed it like in the beginning, you know, in the Kickstarter, or it was the GameFound or whatever, with everything, I think it would have cost a bit more than 500 euros. And I'm talking about with the VAT, right? The 20% that we have here in France and the delivery. So I thought to myself, 240 euros, that is something that I completely can afford. I didn't back in the beginning because I thought it's, oh, this is just another one of those campaign games that I have zero patience to anymore. So I completely just like, you know, threw it aside. So far, this game is okay. I'm thinking that just the base game is not enough to justify this game staying, but slowly I'm like adding more expansions, and I think that actually those expansions are the game, because just the base game is really not enough. It's something that you can play maybe 1 or 2 times, and I think that absolutely no more than 3 players, because the downtime is just really too long. But with the expansions, it's starting to be nice. So this is something that definitely I'm going to keep you updated maybe next month or in 2 months to tell you if it's still in my collection or not. The third game that has entered my collection and I still haven't touched it is actually Runewars. Yeah, the mythical game that you can see just on top of me. So this is something that it was a little bit funny because I posted on Facebook in a Board Game Revolution community. I think, yeah, that's the name of the Facebook group, whatever. What do they recommend? Like if I'm looking for a game between Runewars and Cthulhu something, I'm going to write it on the screen. And since I'm not a fan of Cthulhu, but it's not like a deal breaker, I thought to myself, all right, these games seem relatively similar. I'm saying relatively because I never played any of those. So I thought to like just, throw a bottle on the water and see what comes back. So there was one guy from the UK that wrote to me, if you're deciding actually to go for Runewars, I can sell it to you with the expansion. And I already knew that the expansion is something that is super hard to get, just like the expansion for like StarCraft, wow, Fantasy Flight Games. Do we see here a motive, something that comes from every game that is considered to be a classic? But whatever. So I told him, all right, I found it for, I'm going to say relatively a good deal. I'm guessing that it is a good deal, but this is mind-blowing expensive, okay, for a game that is not new. I mean, it's nice, it's supposed to be nice, people are loving it, but I'm like, just from looking at it, paying, I think, almost 300 euros for this game and the expansion, it's like, wow, this is heavy on the pocket, but I'm glad that I got it and I can't wait to dive into it. So, by the way, let me know what do you think about it and should it be the next game that is hitting my table. The fourth and last game that is entering my collection is another Pax game actually. And this one I was not so lazy to bring to the table, to the camera. So this is Pax Profiriana. Porfiriana? Yeah, I think I got it right. So I'm a little bit nervous from this game, to be honest with you, because my memories from Pax Renaissance 2nd edition with these creators, especially with the rulebooks, is not something, is not pleasant memories, So I hope that now that I already have the experience a little bit more with Pax games, this will be a little bit easier. And I think that with this game, I would finally be able to understand, do I want another Pax game beyond Pamir 2nd edition and Renaissance 2nd edition? I'm interested, especially because I recently backed two other Pax games that I a little bit forgot their names, but I'm going to add it on the screen. So this is something that I'm super looking forward to, and I will definitely keep you updated. So now just a few updates, guys, before I'm letting you go and letting you celebrate your wonderful Christmas. What is going to happen until the next month? So first of all, this game that is called Nataterra, that was sent to me by Amir Kamal, which is a super cool guy that lives now in Australia, and he's going to have this game on Kickstarter somewhere in 2024. I don't know many details about this game, but it's already on the table because he asked me to do a video for this game, which is something that I'm like, all right, tell me a little bit more about the game before I'm saying yes. And he's like, listen, this is a resource management, tech tree kind of game, a very cool combat system. And I'm like as he's speaking, I'm already like sending him my address. I'm like, yeah, you should have one of those like puppies on the way to me. So it just came a few days ago, and very eagerly I put it on my table. For now, this game looks super cool. I really enjoying it. The combat system is a little bit complicated, but I feel that there's just a couple of things that are not clicking yet. But the moment that I'll get it, I'm like, oh, okay. And I absolutely love games that have like technologies and tactic cards, combat cards, whatever, things that are going to divert a little bit the combat system itself. And this game is interesting. So one of the things that I owe you until the next month is a video for how to play Nataterra. So when the time will come, when you'll be able to back this game, you will know if it is for you or not for you. Another video that I would love to do, and this is actually, this is probably what is going to happen first from all the other videos, is a comparison between Voidfall and Fractal Beyond the Void. And also I think that I'm going to add another game to that comparison at the end. Let's see if you can guess what it is. I'm going to leave it for now as a surprise. The last video that for sure I'm going to do, and hopefully there will be a little bit time for more, is my top 5 games of all times for the year 2023. Why top 5 games and not more than that? First of all, my top 100 games is exactly what there is behind me and exactly what you're going to have in the list in the description of the video. I find it a little bit weird, and I'm going to repeat it a few more times, but I find it a little bit weird where people like ranking their collection, you know, number 66 and then number 65, and I'm like, really? You like this game exactly 1% more than you like this game? Tell me more about how you came to this decision. So for me, it's a little bit weird, but you know, I'm not judging anyone. But I want to do a top 5 and not a top 10 because there is, besides my number 1 game that you'll see it a little bit later, there is no really like something that I prefer over the other. You know, this is just like my top 5 games. I would love to play this with you at any time and so on, but I'll talk about it in this video. And also it will allow me to concentrate more about these top 5 games and not just like swiping super quickly about like my top 10. So again, I'm super happy to celebrate today 1 year for EZBoardGames. It's been so far a hell of a ride, and I can't wait to see what is the next year going to bring over to this amazing community. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time.